Through the tunnel we come into our next project. So, welcome back everyone. We've been hard at work collecting materials here because our next big adventure is going to be building this causeway. Now, I've talked about it before. This whole edge of this, not the edge, the coastline of this is going to turn into a causeway that we are going to build around the national park. If you remember, I put these cobblestone here, and these were supposed to kind of lead the way through here, but I really liked how this worked as a park, and I don't want to interrupt that with a road. So I've got all these furnaces here, smelting up some goodies. I've got some andesite, I've got some cobblestone, I've got some cobbled deep slate, and I'm trying to kind of keep these things separated so I know where they are. And then I've got a random miscellaneous chest over here that we're just kind of keeping everything else in. But we have all the things that we need to start building out this causeway. So I want to extend this out here, and for this we are going to move into cheaty spectator mode and just take a look. So I've mentioned before that I want to extend this road out up there, but we are really going to start to build today is out through here and make a wide sweeping turn up through this area here and off into the distance up there to finish off where I'm going to build the shipyard. And I think I want to get rid of this because it doesn't really fit, and I need concrete anyway, which requires sand. So we're going to go ahead and get to work building some of this now. And so let me just kind of come back here to where we were, back into regular mode. Did I already run out of fuel here? Wow, that smelted fast. Yes, I'm smelting a bunch of copper. So we are going to continue the block palette from over here. We are going to need a lot of things. So let me put this in here and start to put together what we need. So I'm going to put some of this back. We are just going to look at the block palette for now, but I'm going to have this. Of course, we are going to have our diorite. And please tell me I built a... No, I didn't, but I think I can use a stone cutter. Great. We're going to have this. So I can put this back. We are going to take some tuff, and I would like the chiseled variety. And then we are going to actually take some of this because we have some new recipes here. This I will need a crafting table for. So we'll hold off on that. And then I don't need the wool. We have some lights there. So we're going to have these. And then if you just imagine real quick, some copper. So let me go grab this real quick. Head over here to my house. Always rains when I start recording. It's kind of funny. But you can see we've upgraded. So I now have access to the spear in my inventory, which I think I may have already shown, and these copper bars. So this is going to be our block palette moving forward. I don't have the dark gray concrete, but that is going to be the road that goes on. I want to continue this polished deep slate, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to have all of the road stay somewhat similar. So it's going to have these stairs, it's going to have this kind of frame out here, and then I'm going to use the copper bars as kind of the guardrails, and then on top of that I need some support structures. So what I thought looked kind of neat, and I will kind of play with this for a second, is I need some more of this stuff. Let's do 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. I am missing one. I can't count. So, oh no, I actually am not, because I have the one over there. I am smart. So if I take this and then I do 1 2 3, we'll just take this real quick and we're going to build up. And then I'll get rid of this for a second, and this, and this. So, for our support structure, I am thinking something along the lines of this. So, from a distance, it's kind of got some really good contrast. The grays kind of tie together. It's got some squares in there to kind of tie things together structurally, I think. Like it's almost got some rigidity to it. At least that's what the word coming to my head is. I need a bed. Let me sleep here in a second. But let's go ahead and do this. So pretend this is going to be the top of it. And this will give a nice contrast. So you can see this will be the support beam holding things up. And on top of this, there will be the gray concrete and the guardrail. Now, what I like about this is it's almost like a lighter concrete, like in real life, with a darker asphalt on top. Thank you. Let's not... Rudely interrupted by a skeleton there. I was able to keep my composure for once. Normally I'd scream. But I'm not feeling as jumpy today. Let me just sleep this away real quick. But, as I was saying, it's kind of a lighter concrete, contrasting with the asphalt, and maybe we'll get a good view now that we're coming from afar, but you can kind of see it here. So as we're looking from the far, you can see the color kind of blend, whereas like it's almost like the lighter colors going into the dark. And then on top is the dark road. And then I'm going to contrast it with the accent of the copper bars. So you can see it matches the color scheme of this. We just need some support beams because this needs to come out of the water. And it can't just sit there and float. There are a few floating bridges in the world, believe it or not. There are 2 in Seattle. And those are kind of cool. However, I do need this to raise up at either end. So even if I did want to build some sort of floating bridge here, it's got to raise up out of the water to come to level over there. So I'm going to need some pillars. So I'm going to go ahead and build this a little bit here to kind of show you what I'm thinking. So first things first, it's going to come up right here. And so I need to fill some of this in with just some junk blocks, which I can use cobblestone for. I think a stack should be good. And then we'll show you kind of what we're working with here. So I can't remember if it was diorite or if this was just filled in by me because it was water, but either way, we're going to fill this in real quick. And then I'm going to build everything except for where the concrete is going to go, just to kind of give you a preview of what this looks like. And I always end up using way more blocks than I think. So we don't need any of the tuff or the diorite at the moment. We do need a bunch of this stuff. And just like everything else... Oh, we actually have some concrete. I can use that later. I forgot the crafting table again. So let's fill this in. Get that there. Alright, and then we want this 9 wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We need to build it out 2 more. So I'm going to go 2 more to the other side. Do I have anything good in here? I do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Now I don't have to go all over the place for my crafting table. So let's get rid of this. Plop this down. And we're going to just build a bunch of these copper things because I want to show you what they look like. I am going to need these eventually. Right now, I'm going to need stairs more than those because I don't need to have the bottom layer visible. The bottom layer can just be the bottom layer for this part. It only needs to be the slabs once we're on the water. Cool, so 64. I'm not sure that's going to be enough. Let's just do a bunch of these things. There we go. All right, so I need to take this out 2 blocks to the left. So this side will look something like this. I might mine that copper. And then, actually, I need to go one more on that side, too. So, if we need to go one more on that side, then I need to go 3 on this side. Because I want to be able to showcase the copper bars. Let's get this out of the way. Yep, water. Just like I suspected. I thought it was either water that was filled with there or something that was valuable for me to mine out. Most likely water. So we're going to have to plug this up real quick. So, oh, that goes deep. Yeah, let's just fill you up. Great. So, do this. As long as we have that down, that should be good enough for now. Okay, cool. And then we can take care of that top portion in a second. But we'll clear this out. Alright, so this goes here. And we're just gonna build this out. And then what we want to do is take this and put this here. Now I have not figured out how I want to incorporate a light source just yet. So I'm gonna have to do some more planning in the creative world. But we're gonna start with this, and I'll do this side first. And then it's not going to connect to anything, so it's going to look a little weird for right now because it's connected to the dirt behind. But I want the kind of guardrail to look like this because I really like the look of these copper bars, and it continues the accent that we have with those copper grates over there. So if I put in this on this side as well, we can kind of see the whole thing together. And then that will give a good idea of what we want to accomplish. So this will be kind of like my next big project. If you can't tell, not really joking about this, I really do have it, but kind of my ADHD kicking in. So I can focus, but sometimes I like to do small amounts and kind of hop around to different projects. So we're not done with the wall by any means, and we've been kind of working on that in the last couple episodes. We're by no means done there. I just need to kind of take a break from it and do something a little different. So we're going to start this causeway and kind of get it going. Yeah, just kind of how my brain works. Kind of need to, like, I've got the whole vision in my head, just need to kind of hop around and do different projects, keep myself entertained, so to speak. And so this was kind of something that I was kind of motivated to do recently. I think the wall is really coming together, but I really want to see the whole place come together like the vision I have in my head. And the only way to do that is kind of take a pause on the wall over there and start building this out so we can kind of expand what we're working on. One thing, though, that I have not thought about yet until I'm looking at this is the elevation change with these stairs. Because when we get here, it makes sense, you know, curves around, right? But then what do I do here? That's going to be an interesting one to solve. So this is the general palette that we're going to work with, and it actually has to come up a little bit here. So let me throw these in here. Try and stay somewhat organized. And then I believe it was this one or the other one. This one. So if we take this gray, man, it's already going to be night. We'll put it over here. We've got 16 of these. So just to kind of get a gauge, we're going to do something to this effect. I'm either going to do kind of the inset curb here, or I'm going to lower this by 1 and have it up. I haven't decided. Over here, I have it down 1 because I like the way it looks in the tunnel. But I almost kind of want a little bit of almost like a gutter here that would theoretically collect water if it were to rain. I'm not sure yet. Because if you were to drive a car, this would seem kind of comically low. But if you build it up too high, it doesn't look too good from the testing I've done in the creative world. So I'm going to think about that. But anyway, I think here I'm going to do some work. Obviously, I got to sleep to get rid of the night and all of this monsters. And I'm going to cut back when I've made a little bit of progress. Oh, hello there. I didn't see you. We're here as we have made some progress on this little causeway here, and we need to build it to turn out that way. So I said I'd come back when I made some progress, and we've made some progress here, and we are just kind of inching along and creating this curve that is going to create a 90-degree bend and send us towards this way. So what we do here is we go 3 up, 1 over, and then we do 2, 3, 1 over, and then we do 1, 2, hold on, we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then now we start going the other way. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the 4th one we go 1, 2, and then we go out, 1, 2, then we go out, 1, 2. Now this should create what we need. And then for this, we've got this one here. This one is going to come out, and we actually only need to do, so after this first one, we need to do just this, 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 this. So now there's 1, 2, 3, and 1 more. And now this should be 1 past, well, I may have gone 1 too far. So now that should be here, and this should create the curve that we are looking for. So if I come up here, we're going to spectate. There we go. So you can see we kind of like bank off to the right, and then we're going to come up here through the rest of the terrain. So let us just kind of fill this in. I also have a very unfortunate tale to tell. I decided, hey, I'm going to use my Swift Sneak book because I think that would help this. And you can notice that, hey, I'm not sneaking so quickly. Well, there's a reason for that. In my infinite wisdom, as always, I decided to make the God tier boots. And when I was doing that, I put, I think, Depth Strider on. And I did that after Swift Sneak. I think that's the one that interferes with it. And so instead of having Swift Sneak, I have Depth Strider. So all the more reason to go back and finish looting that deep, dark, ancient city, because I am a fool who cannot help but make things harder for myself. That was my only Swift Sneak book as well, too, so that was a little bit unfortunate. But the good news is we've made progress, and I like progress. So I'm going to build this out here, and then we're going to add in the sides real quick, because we have everything that we need in our inventory for that, minus the copper bars, which are in a chest over yonder. And then we got to think about what we want to do in order to fill this bad boy in with concrete, that is. So let's get this, and then we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. Yes, we do. Whoop. Accidentally shot an arrow there. All right. So now you can see I've got a ton of slabs and a ton of stairs because we have a lot of block placing to do and a lot of dirt scaffolding here. So we're just going to come in and place all of these. For the height difference, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm going to make that look a little bit more clean, but I've decided that I want it up one more. So instead of creating the gutter that I was talking about, I want it to be raised a little bit. So that's what we're going to do here. And I wanted a gradual incline, so we're just kind of going here around 10 blocks until we do a height change. And then here, when we start to go over, I'm going to have to figure out how I want these stairs to turn. But I wanted to do a bit of a gradual incline just like this, so you can kind of see it comes up. And I did fill in some of this. So we're going to just continue to fill these in. I have nothing lit up over here, so let's try and get this in before I have to go sleep the night away. And then we will come back and finish. But overall, very happy with the causeway so far. And we have a lot of deep slate that we need to place. So that beacon has been proving very useful, but I have now dug down to the point where I am beyond where it's covering. So I need to move it. A lot of things I need to do. Let's just build this so it's even. Yep, so this one is the last one. Perfect. All right. Ooh, looks like we've got some sort of lunar eclipse over there. In modded, sometimes when that happens, you get extra mobs. We'll fly in here through the window. Perfect. You can see I've been kind of going in and out of spectator mode because I have a lot of things to look at. Look at this. Doesn't that look cool? So it's going to stretch out here and go all the way up. So yes. So I've got to figure out what I want to do with that portion. But I have a lot of these blocks to place. So let's get that going here. And then we should be good. So see, it's going to come up like this. And then we're just going to place the copper bars on there. And this is going to be like the guardrail, if you will. So for all of these cars coming through, they will have some sort of safety. So let me go ahead and place these, and I'm going to come back when it's time to figure out what we're going to do with the rest of this. So as I was digging through the sand, thinking about that very question, I started to stumble upon my intrusive thoughts, and an existential crisis set in. It's one that we all go through when we're trying to be creative. We have these grand plans, but we don't actually want to do the grinding necessary to, execute these plans. And it was here that I realized I didn't have the most important thing, gravel. So I searched through my chests, hoping to find even the smallest morsel of gravel, so I could at least, place down some of this concrete. But there was nothing. I had used my entire stash on the wall, and there was nothing I could do. I'm going to have to maybe actually mine this stuff, but I'm certain I have some somewhere, right? It was here I thought I found some good stuff, but it was just gray concrete, not even the powder. And there was nothing in any of these. I'm starting to resign to the fact that I might actually have to go dig for this stuff. But then a moment of clarity struck. I might still have a chest over by the Froglight farm, and it might just have what we need. So I have a confession to make. I may have been a bit more busy than I said I was, and there may be a reason why this has taken a little while for this video to come out. And I think you can tell where this is going, but we have ourselves a couple new farms. So right here, we've got Piggy, and Piggy has been graciously supplying us with some gravel along with some other goodies. Right now, we've got, a couple chests full here, but I've got this little circuit. I needed gold. So, if we come up here, past our other friend here with the ominous music, I've been hard at work getting a gold farm started. So, if we go up here to our little temporary AFK spot, I will show you what we're working with here. So, just your typical gold farm. Just build some magma blocks and put some turtle eggs in the middle. And you can see these guys just like to run off the edge and splat down there. So, let's actually hop up here and see what's going on. So, very simple, like I said. You got your trapdoors, and I built this at height limit, but down half a block so nothing can spawn on it. And then we've got a couple layers here. We've got what? Oh, and I even messed up the, that's probably why the rate is not so good, but I messed up this middle layer here. That's actually too tall. Anyway, so I've got most of these in. You can see I've kind of ran out of blocks when I was building this. I got more down there, but it wasn't really important. I needed some zombified piglins. Now they come down here, and this is where I'm actually pretty proud of myself. So you can see I've got just your typical Impulse SV item sorters, and I've got gold in this side and rotten flesh in this side with their item filters in both of those. Now what I did here is I've got our friend the Copper Golem, and I thought I waxed him, but it looks like I didn't. So what is happening here is these gold not ingots, these gold nuggets come down here into this crafter, and it will craft gold blocks. Now this guy will look for them, and he will take them and put them into this chest. And once they're in this chest, they are fed into a dropper. Now when I flip this lever, it completes the circuit, and it will throw Piggy a golden ingot. And then when Piggy gives us some goodies, it will signal this comparator, shutting off the redstone torch. And then when the redstone torch comes on, it will power this block and dispense another gold bar. That way we don't ever dispense it before he's ready. But I'm really proud of this up here because you could just make a hopper chain or whatever, but I really wanted to make use of this guy here, and I think this is pretty fun. So he gets to take it from there to there. And we've got a simple circuit here, just a comparator on this with all 9 filled. And so it has to reach a signal strength of 9 in order to output a signal, and then it powers this block, which then turns it into a gold ingot. All of this work. If we fly out here, and I don't think I've said it yet, but replay mod is not working for me with the new update that I did, so we are stuck in spectator mode for now. But this is our huge contraption. And so if I were to AFK here, all the piggies will start falling down. They will go splat. The gold nuggets will get turned into gold ingots. Mr. Copper Golem here will place them in the chest. And with the flip of a switch, I can tell Mr. Piggy down here that it's time to trade. So I don't think I have any down here. If we come out of spectator mode, oh, we do have one. So I can show it off. So if I were to do this, you can see it dispenses. We'll turn that off. And then he's going to throw his stuff in a second. And then that will make it down either here or down here, depending what it is. I added a little bit of a hopper chain. It kind of broke a little bit the comparator, but it works. So with this shut off, we can now come back into the overly dramatized me. You know, talking about what I wanted to do, what I was going to have to do, because I may have already done a lot of it. I started tearing that down, so I had the sand, which you saw. What you didn't see is that I have quite a bit of gray concrete. I have been hard at work, so our piggies have done us really well. The limiting factor now is just some ink sacks, so we're actually gonna be good to place this. So I kind of over-dramatized that on purpose, but that has been what we've been hard at work doing, and it took a while. It's a 9 wide road, and so each one of these sections is 10 by 9, so that's 90 of these slabs. And then I've got however many sections this is. It has to be cobbled so that I can turn it into this smooth variant. And then on top of that, I've got to get all of the sand, all of the gravel, all of the black dye, all of the white dye. And as you can see, I had nearly 2 rows of stacks of this stuff, and it's just scratching the surface of like this little initial piece. We haven't even gotten to the turnip here. So this is going to be a long-term project that we're gonna be working on. And you know, all of this took a week, and you know, that for me is a long time. I know there's other creators out there that have a lot of time and can get this done a little bit quicker, but you know, with my work schedule and such, it isn't always conducive for me to just grind for hours and hours and hours. So with that being said, we've made some significant progress here, and wanted to show off that gold farm because, you know, I was pretty proud of that. Pretty proud of putting that together. So this is a pretty good looking road. And so if we come out here, you can see just how much. So that was, what, 2 inventory rows of stacks of concrete, and it got us to here. And then we've got to go all the way to here, all the way to here. And then we're going to keep going, keep on going. Yeah, we've got a lot of block placing to do. So I feel like I've got it in a pretty good start to this. But let's pretend we're a truck again, because I want to come back over here, and I'll actually set ourselves down back where we were. Get out of what's it called? Spectator mode there. And I want to come through like I am a truck, because I'm quite proud of this, actually. And it's starting to come together, and, you know, just got to think long term, right? This isn't going to happen overnight, and we just got to keep making progress slow and steady. So if we were to come up here, use my last rocket here, you know, let's say we're up here harvesting some stuff, right? We get all of the wheat we need, and then we put it in a truck, and now we're on the truck, and we're coming down here, and then we're going to come through this revamped village that I'm going to build with the extra bone blocks that I don't have yet. But here's where it gets cool, because we get to go through this tunnel, right? And then nice lit up tunnel, And then we're through the agricultural district, and we need to come up here. Oop, I already see an issue. To go out there to our port, and bam. Nice transition, keeping the same block palette, and just coming up here. And I kind of like this so far. And with the sun setting behind me and some tranquil music playing, we are going to end the episode here. So thank you all for watching. If you made it this far, please hit the like button and feel free to subscribe. And in between episodes, there's a reason I'm out here. I think I'm going to try and explore this again. And by in between episodes, I mean I'm going to still be recording. And hopefully we can get some funny clips as I try and get this rest of this loot here. So hope you all enjoyed. Have a good week, good rest of the day. And hopefully you are staying warm in this winter weather. And I'll catch you all in the next episode.